certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here's the former Auburn kicker Daniel Carlson to get this one started. And we are underway from Mexico City. Wishing he had a mulligan. That's not how you want to start the game.
Not at all, because not only do you give up the penalty and good field position, but it just kills the momentum of your team as you start a game.
A give running right is Chubb. And he's got some space here. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 down at the 33. They run it again with Chubb. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now Chubb running right. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And he is going to lose yardage here. Tackle for loss by Lawrence Taylor.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. They'll try to throw now. Young. That's out to Chubb, complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Yeah, the Browns are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down, and this has been a great opening drive. You know, at this point, they'd hate to settle for 3, but they've created a fresh set of downs and a 1st and goal.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense, because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
They'll try again with Chubb. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball.
And this is caught for a Browns touchdown by Landry. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Browns get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. They got to love that. 9-play drive results in 6 points.
That means they're doing the dictating. That means that they've described how the game's going to go. They're playing at their tempo, at their pace. If you're on the other side of the ball, if you're playing defense, defense is not methodical. They've got to go in there and shake things up and create a little havoc.
And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be out of bounds here just past the 20-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Brady. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Looking back to the air on 2nd down, it's Brady. And it's caught, the tight end Hill. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
5 yards, and that means they come up short as they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive. Brady going to go on 4th down. He is going to find Hill here. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. The Saints with a football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. To throw is Brady. Flush to his right. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first. Brady going to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Javon Hargrave, the D tackle, getting the sack.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and losing yardage. And
this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Steeler legend Troy Polamalu with a pick. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. They set themselves behind the chains, trying to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Off the play fake, Young. It's caught by Sanders. And they're going to be set up now with a ball at the 13-yard line. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. And he is going to lose yardage here. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. On 2nd and 15 now. Young. And this throw will be intercepted. Deion Sanders, the Hall of Famer, with a pick. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away and could cost them a ball game?
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Again, they run with Campbell. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. On play action, now Brady. He's going to air one out. He's got a man, complete. Past the 20. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. 82 yards. And the Saints are an extra point away from taking the lead. Dennis Allen going to go for 2 here. He's leaving his offense out on the field. They're going to try and run. And he is into the end zone to give him a 2-point lead. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more. The Browns drive about to get started. We've got a little more than a minute to go, and I think the offense is saying, hey, all we need here, a field goal, and we can take the lead into intermission.
Well, I think that's what the goal.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. You can almost see inside his face mask there the look of relief. He coughed it up, but it goes out of bounds. They keep it.
Someone carrying around a lucky horseshoe, aren't they? If I were him, I'd go out and play the lottery after that one. A very fortunate man.
And they're operating in plus territory here. They're thinking points. Definitely don't want to lose the football at this juncture. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Brady now to throw. They'll roll him out right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. A give, running left is Campbell. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. They'll run. It's Campbell. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Running play, it's Earl Campbell. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Earl Campbell as the first half is winding down. And the Saints will extend their lead here just before halftime. Brady will look to throw for it. And he finds his way into the end zone as the lead moves to 10. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. The Browns drive about to get started. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
Well, a lot of credit to the play caller here. He saw the design in his mind and implemented it. A little zone stretcher here because they started the tight end on the left side of the formation and sent him on a crossing route. And this works really well when you can find that space.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he brings it back. Can you believe it? An offensive disaster on the final play of the first half.
They just had to hold on to the ball.
Huge play for the defense. What a turn of events. They get the fumble return for a touchdown, the last play of the first half.
And how about the defense providing the score, amping up not just themselves, but the entire team as they head into the locker room.
And does that change the locker room speech at half?
There shouldn't be much of a speech necessary now. They've got things going their way.
First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20 to the 25-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles. And, I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the third quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
Brady now on first down. And that's caught inside the 35. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. To throw, it's Brady. Steps away to his left. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Javon Hargrave able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Flushed out right. And that is incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now Brady. Escaping the pressure right. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. And he will bring this across midfield to the 49-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
Following the interception, Young. Oh, and now Young here throwing another interception. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores. But, yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And, look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
From the 39, Brady. And Brady going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football. One side gets an interception, but their defense comes on the field and picks them right back up by getting a pick of their own.
And I think you saw the same thing that I did, Brandon. As he ran off the field after making that play, we saw his quarterback seek him out and offer a personal thank you to bail him out a little bit as the offense takes the field again.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd and manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. Young on 3rd down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 41. But just a lot going on there in the middle of the field, and this one winds up a turnover.
Yeah, they're running a crossing route here, and the idea of it is to get defenders confused about who to go with. But if you throw it too early, sometimes it's your quarterback that gets confused, and here he throws it into coverage and gets it intercepted.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. On the move past the 40. Down the left sideline. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 47 yards. The offense has to love that because that was just a dump down, and then he turned something out of seemingly nothing.
And the best quarterbacks understand that dumping it down is often a good
touchdown. Earl Campbell. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Saints will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Well, he is putting in a great all-around game, Charles. He already ran one in for a score, and now they utilize him in the passing game.
And they put a lot of pressure on a defensive coordinator and defense, don't they? Because they're used to him as a runner. But it turns out he's just as dangerous as some of those receivers, and he showed it right there. You don't pay enough attention to him defensively, he makes you pay.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Browns drive about to get started. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout.
And now here is another interception. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ballgame, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. There's absolutely been no stopping this offense today. They already have the big lead, obviously. Here in the 4th quarter, they could coast to the end, but right now they're not passing up any chances to put up some garbage time yardage.
And, partner, why would they? Because who knows it?
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Tom Brady, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Saints have sewn this one up as they add to their lead here in the 4th. Brady's going to look to throw. And he's going to go down. Can't get rid of it, so a sack on a 2-point try. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. It's desperation time. Young on 4th down. And able to catch it, but he's out of bounds. And the throw took him beyond the sideline, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Throwing on 1st down is Brady. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. The former 3rd overall pick, Quinnen Williams, there to bring him down. To try again after the sack. Brady, they go screen. He finds Campbell. And he's stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. We talk a lot about referees trying to protect quarterbacks, and no question they're going to protect number 12.
And really, truly, around the league, the intent is to protect all quarterbacks. It's just common sense. Those are the guys everyone comes to see play each and every week. And that call is pretty easy. And
the Saints are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. Brady going to throw here. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
I'd have to say we're all a little bit surprised there because at his age, with his speed, or should I say lack thereof, the only rushing touchdowns I would expect are on quarterback sneaks. But here, he found all of his guys covered, and he said, why not? And by the way, if that doesn't fire up your team to see the veteran...
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Brian Dawkins, the safety, with a pick. And the Saints are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The Browns drive about to get started. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball.
And he cannot get away, and Young will go down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. James has got it. Complete. No gain on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And my goodness, another interception. Steeler legend Troy Polamalu with a pick. And the Saints come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.